Once upon a time there was a little squirrel named Simon, who lived in a zoo. From the time he was very young, Simon had lived behind bars and bars, watching the visitors who came to see him. Although he had everything he needed at the zoo, Simon had always been curious about the outside world. One day, while watching the children having fun in the park near the zoo, Simon decided it was time to explore beyond the walls of his cage. With his cunning and agility, he managed to escape without being seen by the caretakers. Once outside the zoo, Simon found himself in a beautiful forest filled with tall, leafy trees. But something caught his eye. All the squirrels that lived there were very busy working. They jumped from branch to branch, gathering nuts and acorns, and carrying them to their burrows. Intrigued, Simon approached one of the squirrels and asked, "Excuse me, why do you work so hard? Aren't animals supposed to have fun and enjoy life?" The squirrel, named Lucas, paused for a moment and looked at Simon curiously. "We work so hard because we need to save food for the winter," she explained. "Here in the woods, there's no free food like at the zoo. We have to make sure we have enough food to survive when winter comes." Simon was surprised to hear this. He had never had to worry about his food at the zoo as it had always been provided for free. But now he realized that things were different in the forest. Determined to learn and adapt to his new home, Simon began to observe the squirrels and learn from them. He learned to distinguish ripe nuts and acorns from those that were not yet ready to be picked. He learned to climb trees and jump from branch to branch with dexterity. Gradually, he became an expert food gatherer. Time passed and winter was fast approaching. Leaves from the trees began to fall, and snow covered the forest floor. But Simon was prepared. He had gathered enough nuts and acorns to survive through the winter. During those cold months, Simon took refuge in his burrow, enjoying the food reserves he had saved. But he wasn't alone. His new friends, the forest squirrels, had also saved enough food and shared with him. Together, they spent the winter, telling each other stories and playing in the snow. Simon realized that working hard and saving food was not only necessary for survival, but could also be fun when done in the company of friends. When spring finally came, Simon realized that he had found his true home in the squirrel forest. "I didn't miss the zoo anymore, because now I had the freedom to live like a real squirrel." And so, Simon lived happily in the squirrel forest, learning from his friends and enjoying the beauty of nature. He learned that working hard and saving food was important, but he also learned that true happiness was found in friendship and living in harmony with the world around him.